S25 Ultra versus S25 Edge. Which one is right for you? Now, this is not necessarily a competition because these two phones, while they are at the top of the top when it comes to flagship performance, there's a big difference between these two people and the audiences that they're for. And just to get this out of the way, like I've had so many people who are like, "Oh, I'm not getting rid of my S25 Ultra for an S25 Edge," and absolutely shouldn't. And that will be evident in this video. So the S25 Ultra, 200 megapixel camera. It's got the new 50 megapixel ultra wide. It's got the S Pen. It's got a 5,000 milliamp battery. Like there, you can just look at the back of these two phones and see that there's a big difference. And of course, the S25 Edge has a 200 megapixel camera, but it's not the same one. Making sure everybody knows it is not the same one. And when they first announced it, I thought it was. I didn't think they'd go out and grab another 200 megapixel camera to throw in the other phone. And I gotta say, it's okay, but it's not as good as this one. So if you want the top of the top, the best of the best when it comes to photography and all those things, it's still going to be the S25 Ultra. Another big consideration is the battery. And a lot of people are like, oh, with the S25 Edge, you're going to be tethered to a charger. It's going to be dead in 2 hours. No, that is not the truth of the matter at all. And you can get 5 hours of screen on time out of this battery, maybe even 6. Maybe even 6. Now, I'm not using any battery saving stuff. I'm just using it like normal. I did turn off the always on display because that does eat up a little bit of battery. I think about 10-15% of the battery throughout the day just because it keeps the screen on. So if you want to do that, you can turn that off, save some battery. I don't really get a whole lot of jollies out of the always on display. Like it doesn't do anything for me, and you can just press the button and see the screen anyway. So like it's not that big of a deal. I'd rather have the extra battery. Now you can do other things like adaptive features. Of course, adaptive battery does kick in after about a week. That does help out because it learns your usage patterns and things like that. So it knows what to turn on and turn off so that way you're not wasting battery. Nice feature they have in Android. But you can do other things like limiting how long the display is on. You can put it on Full HD Plus instead of Quad HD Plus. You can use it as a standard refresh rate instead of 120 hertz. There's lots of different things if you want to try and go the extra mile and squeak more out. But I'm fully confident that with all the features turned on, I think 5 hours is pretty attainable for most people. And that's going to get most people through the day. But it's no 5,000 milliamp battery. You got the same chip, same performance, but you have a lot bigger battery in here. Instead of that 3,900 milliamp, you get a 5,000. So that goes the extra distance and definitely will last you all day. It's one of those things where this is a powerhouse phone. This is a nice flagship phone that's super thin, that's not as bulky, that's incredibly lightweight, has a smaller profile, and I think that matters. I learned this lesson with the S25 Ultra. I didn't really think it was going to be that much of a change from the S24 Ultra, but just by making it with the flat sides and the rounded corners and shaving a little bit of the weight off, it made it easier to hold. It feels better in the hand, and it just made me enjoy the phone all that much more. Like I didn't really carry my S24 Ultra around a lot. I didn't like the profile, and the profile matters because if you're holding this phone in your hand all day long, you want something that's great, ergonomic, feels good in the hand, and is easy to hold. And that's what the S25 Ultra does. Well, the S25 Edge takes it to the next level, and I've got this. This is a Spigen liquid air case, and I bought this with my own money. I'm just sharing with y'all. This is a case option you can get. It's like 15 bucks on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description for those of you who are interested. But it has raised bezel protection. It's got the raised screen, like raised protection around the screen. And it doesn't add to the bulk or the heft of the phone. It still feels really thin. Like even with this case on here, you can still tell a huge noticeable difference between this phone. So that's something that's nice. But yeah, it is super thin. And whenever you're holding the phone, like that's where the magic happens. I've told so many people, if you're interested in this phone, go look at the demo over at Best Buy. They've got them out on the settings, like they've got them set up. That's the game changer. And I've had so many people who've come back in the comments and they're like, yeah, I really wasn't all that sold on it, but then I went and I saw it in person and I picked it up and wow, I get it now. And that's where that's where the light bulb moment comes on in the brain with this phone. Because you look at it in the pictures, you're like, okay, whatever, yeah, it's a phone, I get it, but like it doesn't really look all that special. And it's not about looks. And it looks very similar to this phone. It's about the hands-on feeling. So if you want to have that wow moment, like go to Best Buy and go have a look at one of these in person, and I think that'll help solidify it and sink it in. So you're like, okay, this makes sense. But if you're trying to figure out which one of these to buy, if you want everything, get the Ultra. This one does have compromises. It has a smaller battery, and it doesn't have the telephoto. It doesn't have the third camera. It also doesn't have the anti-reflective display. It doesn't have 45-watt charging. So there are some things that it's missing, but it's not really that it's missing them. And I had this conversation with somebody yesterday. This phone is not to take away from the Ultra. Like, this phone stands alone on its own as an option that people can pick up. It's just an extra phone. Like, we look at the S25 lineup, we have 4 phones there. You could still get the S25 Plus. There can be arguments made for that. Then there's the S25 Ultra. You can get it for $1,049 right now with the same $630 enhanced trade-in value. This phone right now, you can get it up to $630 trade-in credit, and you can get free $50 towards like accessories and stuff. I've got an exclusive affiliate code in the description and also pinned comment. You can check that out if you want one. And you get the free double the storage upgrade. So you get 512, $50 towards, accessories, case, whatever, and then you can get up to $630 off. That drops the price under $500. That makes it very attractive. And there are also some good options at the carriers too. So if you want to pick one up, that's fine. But you can get the S25 Ultra for $1,049. Basically the same price, because you get the $50 off with the code that I have. That basically kind of drops it to $1,049 because you get $50 towards a case or something you don't have to spend out of pocket. Both $1,049. But you get more over here. But it's also heavier, it's bigger, it's bulkier. It has the telephotos, the 2 telephotos, better portrait shots, better mid-range portrait shots, a better overall 200 megapixel camera, and you get that 100 times space zoom. Plus, you get the S Pen, but not everybody wants that, and that's one of the reasons I've been talking about with these phones, because I know there's a lot of people that miss having the old Ultra phone. Back in the day, a few years ago, when the Ultra was an Ultra phone, it wasn't the Note that they call the Ultra phone, right? So I know there's people who don't want the S Pen. There's people who don't want these big bulky phones, and that means a lot. And I've showed this to my wife, my kids, other people, and every time they pick the phone up for the first time, they're like, wow, this is so nice. It's such a big change from this, because this is a big, heavy phone. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of stuff that adds to that weight, like the bigger battery. And also you have the S Pen, the extra cameras, all those other things. But by no means is it a competition between these two phones. They're two distinct options for two different people. And I know there's so many people like, oh, nobody wants this phone. Nobody asked for this phone. Like, people want this phone. Like, Samsung doesn't spend millions and millions and millions of dollars to make a phone that nobody wants. Clearly, they've done some research. Clearly, there's a place in the market for it, and people want it. Is the demand as high as the Ultra? No, and I don't expect it to be. This is more of like, okay, you want a flagship phone. You want a big, beautiful Samsung screen. You want a little bit better camera capability than you get with the Plus, because it's got the 4-year-old 50 megapixel camera in it. And you want something lightweight, thin, that's not super heavy. Like, my wife was talking about it when she carries around her iPhone 16 Pro Max, or so she's got 13 Pro Max. When she carries that around, it like pulls down her scrubs while she's at work all day. It's a heavy phone. So to have something that gives you that big screen experience, because that's one of the reasons why people have bought the Pro Max in the past, up until they had the Plus, it was either you get a rinky-dink regular iPhone or you spend a lot of money and you get that big Pro Max. So this is a compromise where you don't have to get the super, super big and heavy one, and you don't have all the negatives with that. Granted, you don't have the extra features, but not everybody wants that. And again, this is not to take away. Somebody's like, oh, well, it's missing the 45-watt charging. It's missing the anti-reflective coating. It's missing the S Pen. It's missing 2 telephones. Like, what you're describing is the Ultra, and it exists, and you can buy it. And it's an amazing phone. It's going to be one of the best phones this year. I was using this with my SIM card in it for the last 3 months until I got the Razer Ultra, which I really, really like. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Like, this phone has a place. It's not as big of a place as the other phones. I think that there's not a large group of people that want it, but I think there's enough that it merits having it in the lineup. I think it's enough that Samsung decided, hey, we're going to go ahead and make this phone, but you're not getting the trade-offs. I mean, when it comes to performance, a lot of times when you have a thinner, lighter phone, it doesn't have the performance. And this one has the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor. It still has the vapor chamber to help with the cooling. and it has all the other flagship stuff that you want. And 25-watt charging is fine with the 3900 milliamp battery. It charges faster than a 5000 milliamp battery, and you still get 50% charging in half an hour. So I think that it's fine. I've really been enjoying using it. It's been a really refreshing phone, like a breath of fresh air. It's something nice and new. And I like nice and new. And I like that Samsung made another phone. Everybody's like, oh, they always give us the same old, same old, same old. And then they make something new and people are like, oh, we didn't ask for that. Like, you can't make people happy, especially not Samsung Knights. Like, you can't make them happy at all. But I get it. People want to complain. People have higher expectations. Yeah, could they put more stuff in here? Sure. But then, one, it would probably cost a lot more money. And then two, people would still complain and say, who asked for this? We don't want it anyway. I think this is a fair compromise between the Ultra and the Plus, and it gives you the best of some of both worlds, but then you get this unique, super light, thin experience. And it's cool. It's like picking up a smartphone for the first time all over again. It's really impressive. You pick this up, you put it in your hand, you start using it, like, wow, why do we have such hefty, big, heavy phones? Like, this is so nice. So anyway, if you want to get the best phone, get the Ultra. By no means is this the best phone. It's not trying to be the best phone. It's just an extra option. And the Ultra is a great phone, and this is a good phone that if you want it, you're probably going to be happy with it. The biggest concern I have is the battery life. Again, I'm still testing that out. I'll have a battery review on this soon. My adaptive battery should probably kick in today or tomorrow. So, yeah, I've been able to get 5 hours of screen on time. Is that enough to get through the day? Yeah, for most people it is. Most people don't use their phone 9-10 hours a day like I do. This is my job. I use my phone all day long. I use it instead of a computer most of the time. So people are like, oh, you spend so much time on the phone. Like, well, you spend so much time on the computer, sitting at a desk 8 hours a day, staring at a computer screen. I just happen to use the phone, and it allows me to be mobile while I work. So I like the phone. I think that it has a place in the lineup, and it's not It's not trying to replace this phone. It's not trying to be this phone. This phone is this phone. It's a great phone, and they're both basically the same price right now. So if you want everything, go with this one. If you want close to everything, but you get the nicety of this new refreshing light form factor, well, then maybe it's for you. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions, comments, gripes, concerns, complaints, all that stuff, I know you will. Go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.